What a disgrace. Matter of fact, this is another in a long line of disgrace at the Olympics, and we're not even through the first weekend yet. I almost get the feeling that the Olympics, they seem to be going out of their way trying to convince us not to watch. They've already lost a sponsor, and we will soon find out how many millions of viewers have turned off the Olympics for good. Well, Casey, that's not happening. Ratings for the opening ceremony were amazing! Over 28 million people tuned in to see the inclusive Last Supper. It was great! Yeah, let's see how many of those 28 million stick around to watch the rest of this garbage. You know, there's a lot of parents in my audience. I would imagine that the vast majority of athletes competing at the Paris Olympics, they got there with the help of their parents. Now, imagine for 1 second that you're the mother, you're the father of a female Olympic boxer. Throughout the young life of your daughter, you have paid thousands and thousands of dollars to get them properly trained. You have sacrificed your time traveling to different boxing matches in different cities, going to work during the week. That's your break, because you're spending your weekends on the road living out of a suitcase so your daughter can pursue her dream. After years of hard work and dedication, your daughter, she is selected to represent her country at the Olympics. Now, naturally, you're excited until you find out that the Olympics are in Paris, a city that my European viewers tell me is one of the premier dumps in the world. But that's okay. That's okay. You can deal with the dump-like conditions. You can deal with the food shortage. Now, obviously, the shortage of Preparation H, that doesn't affect you since you're not going to be attending the Butt Bongo Festival. You can deal with all the bullshit because you get the distinct privilege of watching your daughter reach the pinnacle of her career. You get the privilege of watching your daughter compete against the best female boxers in the world. You arrive to her first match and you immediately notice something off. As your daughter is making her way to the ring, you notice that her opponent's headgear is concealing their beard. Her opponent also has a receding hairline, and you have suspicions that her opponent is wearing a tuck-friendly bathing suit instead of a sports bra. How would you react to that situation? What would you do? I can tell you with 100% certainty what I would do if my stepdaughter was in this situation. I'm pulling her ass out of the ring. Now, she would be pissed off. She's a tough girl. She would not be afraid to box a dude. But I'm telling you right now, this dad would not allow it. I am not putting her at risk so a biological male can achieve their dream of winning a gold medal as a female boxer. But here's the thing. A parent should never be put in that situation to begin with. But unsurprisingly, that is the exact situation the Olympics are putting their female athletes in, along with the parents of female athletes. What a shocker! If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. And before we dive further into the bullshit, let's go ahead and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at the Embroidery Spot. Over the last few years, there has been this movement to defund the police. Woke cities across the country, they have demonized cops. They have tried to create a narrative where the police are the enemy. If you're the victim of crime, don't call the police, call social worker Shanice. Now, of course, in some cities, I guess it's impossible to be the victim of crime since crime is legalized. But in my opinion, we should not be defunding the police. We should be appreciating the police. And what better way to show your appreciation for the servicemen and women in your family than customized gear from the Embroidery Spot? You can show your support by having the Embroidery Spot stitch the name and badge number of a service member in your family on a personalized hat. If you have military members in your family, you can select whichever branch of the military they're serving in, the Air Force, for example. and you can have their name stitched underneath the Air Force logo. The embroidery spot offers dozens of unique designs that you can personalize yourself. Hat I'm wearing right now with my personal podcast logo, designed by the embroidery spot. This is the perfect company for businesses looking for marketing apparel. Like I told you guys before, if they were one of the 4 approved vendors on YouTube, I would use the embroidery spot to design my merch. They have designed apparel for dozens of businesses, and over 2,000 satisfied customers rank them 4.9 out of 5 stars. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL10, BTL10. Save 10% off your first personalized purchase with the embroidery spot. Last year, there were 2 boxers that were disqualified from participating in the Women's World Boxing Championship. Now, they weren't disqualified because they were busted using PEDs. They weren't disqualified for emulating Mike Tyson and enjoying the foreign delicacy roasted ear. Both boxers, they were disqualified because the organizers of the event, they determined that they weren't women. Now, there's a lot of qualifications in boxing: height, weight class, skill level, but the easiest way to get disqualified from a female boxing tournament is not being a woman. Seems self-explanatory, right? According to Umar Kremlev, the president of the International Boxing Association, a series of DNA tests confirmed that these 2 boxers, they were trying to fool their colleagues by pretending to be women. Now, those are their words. Those are not my words. The 2 boxers in question, they are Imane Khelif from Algeria and Yu-Ting from Taiwan. I'm sure I am mispronouncing their names, but I have trouble pronouncing American names. These 2 boxers, though, they were disqualified from this tournament last March. Again, the reason they were disqualified is because DNA tests confirmed they were not women. The test results, they showed XY chromosomes. Now, I'm no expert in biology. I'm damn sure not a transition surgeon at Woke U. Unlike pretend Dr. Jill Biden, I'm not pretending to be a doctor either. This is not my area of expertise, so I could be wrong here, but I would think that it takes longer than 14 months to become a woman. With that being the case, you would think these 2 boxers would not be qualified to compete against women at the Olympics. If so, you would think wrong. This coming Thursday, you'll have the pleasure of watching Khelif box an actual woman. Following day, Yu-Ting will do the same thing. What makes this even stranger, neither one of these boxers identify as transgender, so they can't even use the defense of being a transgender woman. According to Reddix, these boxers are suspected of having something called difference of sexual development. Well, Casey, what the hell does that mean? Yeah, I had the same question. Apparently, it means they were born with both male and female organs. Look, I don't know the right decision here. I'm trying to give the Olympics a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure they have never been put in a situation where an athlete is born with both male and female organs, but at the same time, you already have the precedent to fall back on. The IBA, they did the tough part for you. The DNA test confirmed that these boxers have XY chromosomes. The only people on the planet with XY chromosomes are men. So, wouldn't that mean they need to be competing against men? I mean, we're not talking about swimming here, where the worst thing that can happen is someone like Leah Thomas takes away a gold medal from a woman who actually deserves it. We're talking about boxing. Now, I'm not an expert in boxing, but I'm almost positive that boxing is a sport where you're consistently hit in the face. Wouldn't it be safer to have these boxers competing against men? It is no surprise that the Olympics are not stopping this from happening. From what I can tell, the Olympics, they don't have policies regarding transgender athletes. Instead, they allow individual countries to determine whether or not their athletes are eligible to compete and which gender they're competing against. That doesn't sound very logical to me. Every country in the world is competing for gold medals. That would be like allowing teams in the WNBA to determine whether or not their players are eligible to compete. It would be like the LA Sparkles saying, "We have signed LeBron James. We have determined that LeBron is eligible to compete because he promised us that he was choosing to identify as a woman." If LeBron James was a member of the LA Sparkles, they would not lose a game all season. This boxer from Taiwan, Yu-Ting, they have won 5 gold medals in female boxing tournaments, including 2 at the World Championships before DNA tests determined that Yu-Ting possessed XY chromosomes. It's not like we are talking about some scrub off the street. This is a legit boxer who will be stepping into the ring with women. In all my years covering transgenders in sports, I have never come across a story like this, where athletes have both male and female organs, but they have XY chromosomes and they're also competing against women. I mean, it's so damn confusing. And the thing is, it should not be this confusing. The Olympics have been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. And there has never been confusion between male and female athletes. It should not be this difficult. Men compete against men. Women compete against women. I mean, this could potentially be very dangerous. What happens if one of these boxers seriously injures one of the female boxers? I don't know what the hell's going on with the Olympics lately. They opened the Olympics by mocking Christianity. I saw one promo that seemed to allude to a threesome between 3 dudes. We've got boxers with both male and female organs boxing against women. I mean, what the hell's going on here? What happened to the Olympics being simple? What happened to the Olympics being about pride in your country and the best amateur athletes in the world competing against each other? Before we get out of here, I apologize if I seem to be a bit off today. I was in the pool all day yesterday, and around lunchtime today, I caught a brutal case of swimmer's ear. It has been kicking my ass all day today. Head's been pounding, so if I wasn't as sharp today as I usually am, that's the reason why. But hopefully it'll be better tomorrow. In the meantime, give me your thoughts on this. I am legitimately confused here. These 2 boxers allegedly have male and female organs, but they have XY chromosomes according to DNA test. Should they be allowed to compete against women? Would you allow your daughter to compete against them? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.